Central bankers finally said the quiet part out loud. Immigration isn't just a policy, it's their survival plan. For years, they mocked the Great Replacement as conspiracy. Now, they brag about it. I'm Mark Hanna. Let's track how bankers warp labor and fuel authoritarianism. Today, I'm going to show you in their words why it stinks of fascism and why Trump is torching their playbook. Christine Lagarde at the ECB slipped up. She said Europe's economy is crumbling, fertility collapsing. Quote, 2023 was likely the first year in human history when the global fertility rate fell below replacement. Her fix? Open the borders, flood the market, import workers. Japan's ECB, they echo the same tune. Aging nation, empty factories. The head of Japan's ECB said, quote, in Jackson Hole last week, 2 areas could still expand labor supply: increasing full-time work amongst women and foreign labor, immigrants. Only 3% of Japan's workforce are immigrants, yet they made up over 50% of last year's growth in labor. Half the growth from outsiders. The goal is clear, and Lagarde spelled it out at Jackson Hole. Quote, she said, although they represented only 9% of the labor force, foreign workers accounted for over half of its growth. Without this, labor markets would be tighter and output lower. Translation, keep wages down, keep workers desperate, keep power at the top. Now, let's talk about the crisis they created. Here's the kicker. They caused it all. 50 years of population control, endless wars, epidemics, green cultism, families under attack. Prince Philip once said, and I quote, he hoped to be reincarnated as a deadly virus to solve overpopulation. He wasn't joking. He meant it. Let's talk about climate change. Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, doubled down. On Fox recently, she just preached climate compliance for loans. Quote, it is our duty to check climate change risk. If I have a mortgage on a house near the ocean, it has to be taken into account in the balance sheet. Translation? No green score, no loanie. That's not banking, that's blackmail. Let's talk about fascism. Fascism comes in a suit. This isn't economics, it's fascism in pinstripes. Mark Carney skipped Jackson Hole because he was in Ukraine banging the war drums. Europe's plan? Cheap labor at home, militarization abroad, and total control of the people. Now, history often repeats itself. It doesn't necessarily do it perfectly, but it rhymes. The digital cage. This isn't new. In 2015, Carney pitched replacing the dollar with central bank digital currencies. A global dictatorship run by unelected experts with BlackRock at its center. And did anybody not notice the fact that Larry Fink, head of the $12 trillion of assets under management of BlackRock, was just named co-chair of the World Economic Forum? Yeah, he's going to be up there taking Klaus's old job. What could go wrong there? Same crew staffing Biden's team. They weaponized climate crisis to lock it in. But here's the part they'll never admit. Fiat is finished. The system is broken, debt stacked on debt, your savings diluted, your retirement stolen. They're desperate for digital chains to trap you in a system already dead. But there's a way out, and it's Bitcoin. It can't be printed, it can't be seized, it can't be devalued. Retirement on a Bitcoin standard isn't theory, it's the fix. Sound money, hard money, your money, their systems ends in control. Ours begins in freedom. Now let's look at Trump's America. His plan's simple. Families first, workers first, America first. Tariffs, tax breaks, jobs coming home, innovation unleashed, nuclear power, space projects, discovery. That builds optimism, that builds families, that builds futures. The contrast, here it is. Jackson Hole wasn't a conference, it was a war council. Their path, cheap labor, endless wars, digital chains. Trump's path, growth, wages, freedom. Europe slides into a cage, America breaks into the sunrise. The bankers declared war, but they brought yesterday's weapons to today's fight. They can't win. Lagarde's back on Fox just recently. Proof it's a coordinated campaign. No one else is telling this story. Well, a few people, but most people don't listen to them. And together, I want to make sure that more Americans and more people around the world hear it. Buy Bitcoin. Save your wealth in Bitcoin. Retire early. Be happy. God bless.
That's all, folks.